We hear from the SEC about ICOs that use ETH and BTC. WTF? That and more on episode number 11 of the Bad Crpyto Podcast.
Who's bad?
Hey, Trav, drop the beat. Do it. Checking into podcast with Travis and Joel. I don't know what I'm doing, but it's going to be about Bitcoin and all the other cool things. Bad Crpyto Podcast.
We bad,
Joel
you bad.
Tom here. The bad rapper, as bad as it gets.
That was even worse.
I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I'm not a rapper. And welcome to the show. Here with Travis Wright, beatbox master,
Who just got some candy out of a wrapper.
Yeah. Okay. I don't even know what to say to that. So, hey, welcome.
Hey, I got
the
a
show.
Snickers and it said snarky, and I was like, that is perfect.
A snarky bar.
Yeah.
You don't need candy to be snarky. You come with snark included.
Yeah. They say give Travis some of this snarky Snickers bar when he is snarky. It's probably
Snarky. I don't know why, but I want to say it like this. Give me a snarky Snickers.
better. Snarky Snickers.
Welcome, everybody, and thanks for listening to the Bad Crpyto Podcast. We've got some cool stuff to talk about today, and thank you for making us one of the most popular cryptocurrency podcasts in the world.
Quite
And in
possibly
fact,
the universe.
maybe the universe. Here's what really blew me away. We've been asking you guys for reviews on iTunes, but we've not asked you for reviews on our Facebook page. Our Facebook fan page is facebook.com/Bad Crpyto. Please do come and like us. And I just discovered that we have 33 reviews on our
33?
Facebook page after just a month. I mean, I've had a business page for my other one of my other businesses for years, and it's only got like 5 reviews.
Wow,
So
33. That's great.
it warms the cockles of our heart.
Thank you to that.
Travis didn't even know that his heart had cockles until now.
I didn't even know it. I thought they were spurs.
So anyway, thank you for that. We appreciate you. Wow. And we also, the response that we got to the Stellar Lumens giveaway was absolutely freaking-tastic. And the first 100 of you have been invited to claim your lumens. Right?
Yes, that was a very successful thing. That went very quickly. We were surprised at how quickly those first 100 were snagged up, Mr. Joel. And snag. And now they are all part of the newsletter. And so you may have missed out on getting the lumens. However, you may want to be part of the newsletter. So if you go to badco.in/news, you can still join us on the newsletter, and there's going to be some cool stuff that we drop only there, so you're going to want to check that out.
And we will be each week giving away to 100 listeners some more Stellar Lumens. There's still 3 weeks coming that we'll be giving them away, but we'll be giving them away using a different method. So if you're not on the newsletter list, just go ahead and join anyway, because it's going to be a method of communication that's going to share some exclusive stuff with you guys over the coming days, weeks, months, years, centuries, and millennia.
Yes, because we plan on becoming clones and doing this show forever.
We are Devo. Hey, what's the question?
3000.
What's the question this week, Trav?
We do. We have a question this week, like every week. So Nick, he shot us in a question. He said he's new to all of this. First, thanks for the show. We're new to it. Every day we're learning something new, right? It's like, it's one of those things. Keep diving in, and you learn it. Stay curious. So he says, the show is great. Thanks for that. Do you know of a good offline storage of Bitcoin, Ether, and Litecoin? And why is it not good to keep it on the exchange if they have insurance?
Okay, so 2 questions there. We are definitely fans of storing the majority that you're not using for trading, right? If you're not going to trade your coin, if you're just holding it or hodling it, if you don't know what that means, it means holding on for dear life, hodling. But and I'm not sure how that
Hard
came
on
about,
me
but-
close, Bitcoin.
By the way, we're recording the show really late. However, there is no alcohol involved.
That is true. It is
I'm drinking
12:45 a.m. where I am. See, this is
Yeah.
dedication. This is This is side hustle, folks.
I own a hardware wallet. It's a hard wallet. It's called a Ledger Nano S, and it allows me to store my Litecoin, my Ethereum, my Bitcoin, and a couple other coins, like 5 or 6 currencies at once that I can store on. And it looks like a USB thumb drive, only it's not. And it's got a private key and a password to it. And I keep it somewhere safe so that it's not on exchanges. There are other places that you can store, even if it's just a paper wallet, which we've talked about in the past. But why? Talk about Coinbase and their insurance. Are people safe if their coins somehow get hackified and taken on Coinbase?
Yeah. So if you look at the support.coinbase, they do have their own portal where they answer a bunch of questions, those FAQs. And so, yeah, it says this: how is Coinbase insured? So all digital currencies that Coinbase holds online is fully insured. This means that if Coinbase were to suffer a breach of its online storage, the insurance policy would pay out to cover any customer funds lost as a result. It says it covers those in a breach of physical security, cybersecurity, or by employee theft. So,
however,
yeah,
what does it not cover?
It covers only 2%. Oh, Coinbase holds less than 2% of customer funds online. The rest is held in offline storage. What does it not cover?
Right.
Losses from the compromise of your individual Coinbase account. It is your responsibility to use a strong password and to maintain control of all login credentials that you use to access Coinbase and GDAX.
Okay, so if you get hacked, if somebody gets control of your account, you're not covered for that loss. You're only covered if they have a breach of their storage, right? If somebody hacks them, and that doesn't mean using your login credentials. It means if somebody gets into the back end of their system and you lose your coin, then the insurance policy kicks in. But if somebody logs in as you and takes your Bitcoin or whatever you have, that's not insurance. Yep. So it's a good reason to get your coins off of Coinbase.
That is true.
Now, Coinbase is not a sponsor of the show, but it is a great gateway. It's the gateway drug into crypto.
It's the gateway drug to crypto.
It's the easiest place and most user-friendly exchange to sign up on. It's where I started. Travis, I think it's where you started. It's where a lot of people start. And I think
they are the first $1 billion unicorn company in the blockchain space now, the first $1 billion business as a result of all of this, which I find is interesting.
It is interesting. They're not perfect, but it's worked for me really well. And they actually have a really cool program where they've given us an affiliate link. And I mean, you can go directly to Coinbase.com and you can sign up for your account, or you can use our link, which we will put in the show notes, and we'll tell you momentaneously. I just wordified. And
I like that word. That is really good.
Yeah, thank you. And when you sign up through this link and you purchase $100 worth of cryptocurrency, whether it's Bitcoin, Litecoin, or Ethereum, the only two that are available on the exchange right now, they'll also give you $10 in free Bitcoin, and they'll toss $10 in free Bitcoin to the Bad Crpyto Podcast. So that's kind of nice. And where do people go to take advantage of that?
That is badco.in/Coinbase, and as soon as you do buy $100 worth, momentaneously $10 gets delivered to you magically from Coinbase.
Poof, like that.
Momentaneously. It's magic, you guys.
Yeah, a great place to get started. So so check that out. And
I love these new words. We are,
I make words all the time. And
that's true.
And speaking of words, the SEC, actually 3 words, stands for the Securities and Exchange Commission. And the news is actually a little dated because this actually happened at the end of July, and here we are in August, but we haven't talked about it yet. And I think it's important that our listeners understand that the United States government, at least, has some regulation in place, and they've made a statement about initial coin offerings, which we're going to talk about today. So I think that's why we want to preface with the news of the SEC's ruling on ICOs, stands for initial coin offering. So what is the big deal?
So what is the big deal? That's a big question, Mr. Joel Comm. So what's interesting is that there was a thing that happened with an ICO, which is an initial coin offering, back in May of 2016. It was this virtual organization known as the DAO, DAO. And what happened was...
Which, by the way, stands for the Decentralized Autonomous Organization.
Yes. And so this organization right here... basically, it was a venture capital fund that was created. They raised $150 million or something. $150 million, yeah. And then something happened. Did it get hacked, or what was the big deal that happened? Because they had some catastrophe.
Yeah, basically the money disappeared somehow. There was definitely a problem with it. They used the DAO as an opportunity to capitalize on it, but I don't actually know what happened. It's just that the DAO basically invited people to purchase these tokens, right? They didn't call them coins. They called them tokens that would then be used to be part of an automated investment strategy. And then the token owners would get rewards. Kind of sounds like a pyramid type schemey thingy. And one of the individuals that was in charge of the ICO said it would be like receiving dividends. So in the case of the DAO, the Securities and Exchange Commission came to the conclusion that these tokens were actually securities, which are, of course, regulated and governed by certain rules.
Yes, and this is not to be confused with the Buddhist Tao, which is the signifying way or the path or the route or
the Tao of Pooh.
The Tao of Pooh. Understanding
Unless it's there should be a book, the Tao of Pooh-moji.
The Tao of Pooh-moji?
Because the Pooh-moji is like either the first or second most popular emoji in the emoji
I rarely
alphabet.
use the Pooh-moji.
Yeah, Pooh-moji.
I underutilize that maybe by, I must not be the Pooh demographic.
So a warning, Will Robinson. The SEC is looking at ICOs and determining that a crackdown could happen to them, and they're watching basically for those that don't have their legal house in order. It's not that you can't do ICOs, and in fact, they're not saying that. They're just saying that that what you're selling are securities, and the companies who are offering them have to make sure that they have all their legal T's crossed and their I's dotted.
Yeah, and I tell you, this whole ICO thing has taken off with a craze, and so that's one of the things that we're talking about today. Now, the SEC stuff, that's still developing, it's still shaking out, to be determined, something to keep an eye on, but how does these ICOs transpire? Well, typically, they're built on this Ethereum blockchain. And to participate in these ICOs, instead of going like you would connect with your stock market broker and buy stocks like you might do, you basically go there but you have to have this particular currency to be able to buy in to those particular things. So right. Yeah, how does it work for you?
ICO, Travis, is basically the crypto world's way of funding a business, crowdfunding a business without offering stock in a company.
It's like Kickstarter for your biz.
Exactly. So, in the past, you'd have to have a whole lot of cash to get listed on a stock exchange and to do some sort of initial public offering, an IPO. And, a share price is set, and then they offer the IPO. So there's pre-IPO, where friends and family and others are offered shares at a little lower price, and then it goes public, and then the share price goes up and down based on the demand for that particular stock.
There's a lot of venture capitalists and angel capitalists getting in there, and lots of different series of investment before you can actually get to an IPO. So that was a very simplified version of that, but it's sort of the same gist. That's kind of where we are. You are able to, use some of these coins to buy into these companies, and now you have coins that will then in the future, once the ICO is complete, get on certain exchanges which can be traded, right? Hopefully
exactly. So I'm going to use a case in point of an ICO that I actually just purchased in today. And of course, this would be a good time to remind you guys that this show is for entertainment purposes. We are not investment professionals. We are not financial advisors, and you should not listen to to us in that capacity. This is for entertainment purposes only. You do your own due diligence and only invest what you can afford to lose and what you have decided is a solid investment based on your own due diligence. All right, we're responsible for our own money, not for yours.
That is true. Do your own thing. Do your own research, and we're gonna actually share with you how to do a little bit of that research later in the show.
Yeah, we are. So when I went to this conference, we talked about a couple shows ago the Startup Society Summit. There were several sponsors there, and one of them was a company called Propy, Propy. It's Propy.com, and they are tokenizing real estate. If you go to their page, it says buy or sell investment properties, make it easy to build wealth through real estate investment. And basically, I got into their ICO today, and I want to point out a few things you need to be aware of in these ICOs. And following along on this page is actually a really easy way to do it, because you'll notice they already have an app on the App Store, which is, to me, that's a really good sign, Travis, that they're actually in business and doing something already. You agree, right?
I do agree. And what is the name of it? You said Propy?
Propy, Propy. It's like property, only without the ER.
Gotcha. Propy.
So Propy.com.
Very good. Yeah.
But what you'll also see on these pages is things that, like, say, token sale, right? And that is where you find information about the ICO. This particular page talks a little bit about Propy. It talks about the app. It talks about their partners. And I'm looking to see if there's a white paper on here somewhere. I'm going to click token sale. Yeah. So when I click token sale, it goes to tokensale.propy.com. And on this page, it has a countdown clock. Usually before an ICO happens, there'll be the countdown clock, and then during, which will show you the duration of how long the ICO is going on for. But on the page, you'll see how Propy works, key dates, and team, and some media about it. These are all things that you want to look at. Travis, what do you think some of the most important things that people need to be aware of before they invest in any ICO?
I'll tell you, the first thing I'll do is I will go and look at their team. I'm going to be, that's exactly what I do first. I want to know what problem do they solve. I'd really like that to be distilled down into that sort of elevator pitch. What would you say if you were in an elevator with Mark Cuban or Richard Branson about what it is you do, right? I want that distilled message. What is the problem you're solving? I want to know, what industry are you doing it in? How are you disrupting the market in a unique way that no one else is doing it? And I want to see the team, right? What has your team accomplished? Who are the people there? I'd really like to see a LinkedIn button where I could go and view their profile. I find that's helpful, but a lot of times I'll just go ahead and look. Like, for example, the team here on Propy, the CEO, Natalia Karaneva, Real estate developer, 12 years of experience working with foreign investors, built 3 companies, software engineer, an Oxford grad. Interesting. Is that true?
She's got a link to her LinkedIn there. By the way,
perfect.
Proppy doesn't know we're doing this. Proppy is not a sponsor of this show. Just so you know, we're not being
basically an example of what you bought this today. So this is basically free publicity for these guys.
Right.
But it's interesting to take a look at it. I think that's very crucial. You want to see who are these people, what are they solving, and then I really like to find out where they are communicating online. Like, where is their channel? If you've noticed on a lot of these, they're going to have either a Slack channel, Joel, or they're going to have a Telegram channel, right? Where you can go in and talk with members of the team, and other members of the communities can go in there and talk. It's a great place to get 411 on maybe upcoming things, right? Interesting.
Yeah. And so if you're not using Slack or Telegram, there are great communications apps that basically communities build around these particular offerings. And you can go and usually have conversation with some of the principals because they want to be able to answer questions. Now, as I'm looking at the team for Proppy, it looks like a lot of these people, it looks like Eastern Europe or, Russia. I'm not sure exactly where they are, but some of the names, Koneshev,
definitely Slavic.
Now, here's the other thing that I look at is I want to know where they're getting their information from. And these are where you're going to find the advisors. And on their page, I see an impressive list of advisors, right? I see Michael Arrington, who founded TechCrunch. I see Vinny Lingham, who's been in the tech industry for a long time, and it was behind a very popular ICO that just happened, about a month or so ago, called Civic. I see this guy named Bruce Cahan. It says Stanford under there. I don't know what his role is. I see
he's a professor of civil and environmental engineering.
There you go. I see a guy here, Daniel Kaki, that has an Apple under him. So I don't know what his capacity is with Apple. But, looking at who the people are that are advising a company is incredibly important. Seeing who their partners are, seeing what's been written about them in the media. And so, the thing about ICOs is that typically you'll get in and be able to purchase tokens that will ideally then be worth more once the ICO is over and the token is available on an exchange. And that's where the fun and games start.
That is where the fun and games start. Yeah. So, there's some really fun things that you can do. So after they go ICO, they're going to start popping up on these various different exchanges. One of the ones, there's a couple that are popping up. Most of the time they'll pop up on Bittrex. So, you can't get these on Coinbase. You can't get these on other ones. And then they'll pop up on other ones. I think Binance is another one where some of these ICOs are popping up. But we've missed one thing that we want to talk about this. So when you're buying these ICOs, we mentioned you can only buy with, like, most of the time Ethereum. Some of them will say you can use Bitcoin or Litecoin or US dollars. It depends on what they're being built on. But keep this in mind, Joel. What was the one thing you wanted to tell them about transferring from exchanges?
Oh, don't ever send your Bitcoin or your Ethereum from an exchange to participate in an ICO. You want to always send your contribution from a wallet. Always, always, always. And they'll always tell you that. They'll always, when you go to click, like, for example, on this Proppy ones, you can actually choose Bitcoin or Ethereum. I'm going to click on Ethereum, and so since I need to actually go through to do it to take me to the page, but it will give this warning that you need to send from a wallet. Now, your wallet can be, for example, I talked about the hardware wallet, which could be the Ledger Nano S. There's another one called Trezor. There's a lot of different wallets. There's your paper wallet, which has your Ethereum address on it. And I use a site called myetherwallet.com, and I store my Ether, my Ethereum there for the purpose of funding ICOs. So we're not going to go into how that actually works right now. That's kind of like a little more under the hood tinkering and learning. Maybe sometime we'll do a tutorial on it. But the point is make sure that you always fund your ICOs from a wallet and don't send any coins for an ICO from an exchange, whether it's Coinbase or Poloniex or Bittrex or Bitnance or any of them. Bit this, bit that. Don't.
Bits better have my money.
Yeah, because if you do that, you have no. There's nothing you can do once you've sent coin to an address. Because what they'll do is they'll say, okay, you're going to send your Ethereum as much as you want to purchase to an address that they'll give you. Remember the long 30 or so character alphanumerics, letters and numbers, capital, lowercase. They're going to give you that. And you'll send your tokens, and all the ICOs will tell you in exchange for example, if I put in 1 Ethereum on this site, it tells me that I will receive 318.526999999999998535731 Pro. Pro is the token for Propy. That's a lot of decimal
saying
points.
One Propy is worth $1 right now. That's what they're selling it
right.
at this particular point.
And the other thing you'll notice is that depending when you look at Propy.com, depending upon when you make your contribution, those that are in early get bonuses. So as I'm looking at this right now, if you had contributed during the first hour of the ICO, you would have received a 15% bonus. So in other words, if your token contribution was worth 100 Pro, you would have received 115 Pro. And then for day one, it drops down to 10%. If you contribute day 2, 5%. And this is a 30-day ICO. So if you contribute by week 3, there's no more bonuses. So they're encouraging people to invest early in order to get more coin. And once the token sale is over, then you'll get instructions on how to put that into your wallet, and they'll let you know what exchanges it is now tradable on should you wish to track to see the value. As for me, Travis, I've said before, is I'm not interested in buying into an ICO to just go ahead and sell it. I only buy and invest where I think, there's something here. I think that the value of this is going to go significantly higher than my investment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it depends. I mean, and I know that sometimes when I'm looking at them, I'm going, ooh, this just had some big news. It might be able to pop here for a while. Oh, look, now it popped. And then because when you're on these exchanges, like when you start getting the hang of Bittrex and Binance and transferring and buying coins and this and that, it's pretty fun. I've been having a pretty good time with it for sure. For sure. And again, I had never even heard of Propy until Joel mentioned it during this episode. I mean, we were literally just.
I really don't know if they're going to make it or not. Listen, I've invested in some ICOs that they've been dogs. Woof, woof. Mm-hmm. Who let the dogs out?
Oof. Now, hey, they do have on the page, on the tokensale.propy page, they have a Telegram, they have a Reddit channel, and they have a forum available over there on Bitcoin Talk, right? And the white paper's right there. You can watch the video. Pretty legit.
So go check that out. Go read about it. Again, this is not an endorsement of Propy or whatever they call it. This is an example so you can see what this looks like. And of course, in the future, after this has gone live and traded, you'll be able to look back and go, okay, what if I had invested 1 Ethereum for 318 Propy? What's that worth now? Is it worth more than the value of the Ethereum?
Can I give a half a Propy or half an Ether?
I don't know. Good question. So some of them will take fractional. Some of them require a minimum. I saw that there was I got targeted by Facebook on an ad for an upcoming ICO that's actually offering like this gold Visa that's connected to the token. And when I clicked on it, you have to have a minimum of 10,000 Ethereum in order to play in this ICO. So
maybe it should be a platinum Visa then.
Yeah, it should be laced
all
with
fancy. You got to be all super fancy to be in these little reindeer games.
Right. So I'm out of that one. But anyway, we will link to badcropy.com, and then you can find the links to their Telegram, their Slack, their Reddit, and all that. Just before we finish up on this ICO segment, I just want to mention that you can go to a number of places online, but one that I've discovered is called CoinSchedule.com, and they try to aggregate the ICOs that are currently in progress, and they list the ones that are coming up. Now, it's not comprehensive, but there's quite a bit there, and it's kind of fun to poke through and, see what some of the businesses are that are attempting to launch using blockchain technology.
Might want to turn my mic back on. Yeah, see, that's one of the areas that I've thought about. That's
did you burp or something or cough?
No, I didn't. I was just, I took a drink, I think, and I just kind of shut the mic off. I said cuss words, so you couldn't hear me.
I'm going to take a drink right now.
No, I wanted to say about. That's disgusting.
I'm going to gargle just a little bit, and now I'm going to wait. Oh, plastic bottles don't play very
nice,
well.
very nice. So what I was going to say, but he's trying to make me forget my thought. And it's almost successful. Go on Coin Schedule. That's one way I think it'd be really fun to sort of activate the Bad Crypto community. Eventually, is like, if you find something that you think is cool, that's interesting, let us know. You're like, oh, what? We just found this one. I did a research of this ICO that's coming up that looks really cool. Now, don't be shilling it to us because you work for them, but if you legitimately find it, that's why I think it's important for us to eventually get our own community together, Joel, like on Facebook, right? Do that mastermind group deal.
Yeah, we've been talking about this, and I know some of you want to, you write us, and you also make a lot of comments on our YouTube video, and via email and via phone. And by the way, if you want to contact us, all the ways you can do that are at badcryptopodcast.com. So please do reach out. So we are talking about what we might do for the community. It might end up being a mastermind group. We might even start our own Slack. That, Slack is great because it's just ongoing dialogue and discussion, and we can check in from time to time, and you'll be able to talk amongst yourselves. So maybe let us know what you would like to see. And before we wrap up, I just, before we started the podcast today, Travis and I were talking about Bad Coin. We got a little distracted by stellar lumens and giving those away, and we will continue to give them away in the coming weeks. But we also want to be able to follow through on our promise to give free Bad Coin, completely worthless currency to you, our listeners.
Who are not worthless.
Who are you're incredibly valuable, but who knows? Bad Coin might end up having value, and we've decided that on our next episode we're going to tell you how to claim free Bad Coin. Only it's not going to be limited to 100 people. We are going to give Bad Coin to absolutely everybody who asks. But there's one caveat.
Got to ask nicely. What'd your mom and daddy tell you when you were younger?
You can be bad.
Say please.
That's not even the caveat. The caveat is, in order to receive Bad Coin, you have to sign up on the platform that we can send it to you. And it's called BitShares. It's its own. BitShares BTS is a currency of its own, and BitShares is a platform and an exchange. And we created the Bad Coin on the BitShares exchange. So in order to receive Bad Coin from us, you have to have a BitShares user account, now a wallet open. It doesn't cost you anything to open your wallet at BitShares. And so what we want you to do is go to badco.in/BitShares. Set up your wallet. They have one you can download, but we recommend just using the web wallet. Set it up right there, and you will select a username. Take note of that username, and once we provide you with instructions, we will be requesting that username in order to send you Bad Coin, and we're going to talk about that in episode number 12.
Smithers, we're the Mr. Burns of Bad Coin.
We are the Springfield of the internet.
We have 1 billion of these Bad Coin. It's worth nothing
at the moment, but they might be. And in the future, Marty, in the future,
year 2000.
Do you remember the song from the 70s? In the year 2929.
Yeah.
I can't remember who did it, but it was like
25.
25.
Yeah.
You'll be having Bitcoin if you're still alive or something or other. Anyway, right at this point, this early in the podcast, with the great success we've had, we just want to reward you, our listeners, and we're going to give you this currency, which may or may not have value one day. And this is not an initial coin offering because we're not selling it to you. We're giving you a token, and we're not asking for any money for it.
Here's what I think we should do, Joel. I'm gonna make an executive decision on this, even though that we're both co-executives. I would say this is that this episode right here is going to push us over 50,000 downloads and subscribers in the first 30 days of this podcast. So here's what I want to do, Joel. We'll give every one of these first batch 50,000 bad coin.
Oh my gosh!
For jumping on.
Okay, now I either got to go along with this or edit it out when I when I do this.
50,000. Well, and what are we going to say for the first how many?
No. It's going to be until we cut it off.
Until we say stop.
Until we say stop. Yeah. Because I want new listeners who come in here. And so this offer for free bad coin may be rescinded at any time. Okay, I'm going to put that out there right now. But until we say stop, we will be giving 50,000 bad coin to anyone who asks. So no more about that except to go to badco.in/BitShares and set up your free BitShares web wallet. And make sure that you go ahead and subscribe. Click wherever there's a subscribe button, wherever you're listening, click that button. Rate us and review us. We love to read your reviews. And again, the cockles of our heart just explode in a cacophony of rainbow fireworks.
We've been having some great conversations with folks over on the Facebook page, people who have messaged us on Facebook Messenger. I think, we're talking to people over there within the first 30 minutes, normally whenever a message comes through. So there's many, many different ways to get a hold of us. And, we love you guys. So thanks for tuning in. And, as Joel say, what do we need to say at the end?
We say, send us Bitcoin. Send us lots and lots of Bitcoin. Fractional amounts, large amounts, copious amounts. It doesn't matter.
Neo, if you want to send Neo, if you want to send any of these other ones, there's so many different fun coins out there now to play around with. This is fun, Joel. Thanks for being part of the journey. We're doing this. This is good times, brother.
Don't stop believing and stay bad.